see if we are live. Okay, looks like we are live on Twitch. Just gonna mute this. And what about YouTube? Yeah, cool. Looks like we are live. Oops. Right. Cool. So, hello, welcome back into a new week. I was about to say happy Monday, but it's Tuesday, so it doesn't really count, I guess. I feel a little sick today with a little bit of a heavy eyes and a little bit tired and a sore throat. So excuse me if I cough during the stream. Yesterday we had a meeting about the shots, but it got cut off a little bit short. And yeah, so I think we just keep on tracking with some of the shots. I didn't manage to go through all the shots as well for the review, so I'd like to keep working on a few shots. Let me see if I can find them here. Right. So, oh yeah, let me swap screens. And then I don't think I'm capturing the right nuke. Just give me a second here. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, we did a little bit of a review, but it got caught off short, unfortunately, yesterday. So we're looking at like Sky. I think that's kind of like what I want to keep working on today. So I think I finally sort of have a stars map set up that I kind of like. So I think I'll continue from here. And yeah, these shots look very similar, but they're different. But I was working on this, I think on Friday, and I noticed that the smoke from the fire is actually coming up in the blacks. So originally the sky is like super black, right? And I just wanted to, I don't know if I can find a frame where we kind of see the smoke coming through. So I definitely need to do like a very precise keyer of the smoke. And it's because it's shot on, and it's funny because the smoke is sort of black and the sky is black, but because it's shot on red, you actually have like a little bit of like, you know, pixel density. I don't know if you can kind of see it coming up here. So I need to try to key that better, but I just like noticed it like on Friday, so it was a little mental note for myself. But yeah, so I'll work with these two. I might also want to rotate the Milky Way to be on this end, so we don't get like this bright contrast with the black smoke. I think it sort of interrupts the sky a little bit. So I try to flip the sky over and then see how that turns out. And then I have these two shots that didn't sort of make the cut as well for yesterday. So I keep working on these two, just like more storm and rainy stuff. And then then I think we are missing a lot of footage still to continue with the other shots. Buenos dias. Did Roger have a lot of requests for the other shots? You know what? We right after our meeting yesterday, he tried to call and then back, but he the internet was not having it yesterday, so we didn't manage to go to continue with the other shots. I have a little bit of a sore throat today, so excuse me for my if I cough a little bit. So yeah, so I think today I'll look into the sky for these shots. I'll start with this one. Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot to share the right screen here. Also, we just finished up last week. I sent out like a, what do you call it? A proposal for the course. And I think it looks like it's going to be sort of approved, and probably we're going to start it by the beginning of April. So all those details are still sort of like being eased in or finalized. So I'll keep you posted as it gets approved for a course. And should probably also say that in Spanish. Así que al final, si estás escuchando y hablas nada más español, hice una, ¿cómo se dice? Un proposal, ¿cómo se dice eso en español? Una agenda, ¿no? ¿Se dice así? No, un curso, ¿no? He hecho un curso, lo he mandado para que sea aprobado, ¿no? Y yo creo que con mucha suerte, y vemos si empezamos al principios de abril, pero cuando tenga un poquito más de información, me voy a asegurar que toda la gente lo sepa. Por si acaso que quieres participar en el curso y aprender un poco más sobre compositing y efectos especiales y cómo utilizarlos también en tus proyectos. Propuesta, sí, gracias Flow Nature. Yeah, so that was a little course announcement there in both languages. Let's jump back into the shot here, and yeah, keep working on this. Also super cool. I noticed that there's been a few subscribers and more viewers on the videos as well, which is cool to see. I think even though we're not talking like crazy numbers anything here, but it's nice to see that there is some sort of traffic and interest in this. And so I think we just keep on trucking, and eventually we'll see how we can build sort of a cool community. I think like that's my sort of grand vision for this, is to be able to create like a small community where we can help each other out with projects and information, or just any kind of thing really, to help each other out. And so if you want to sort of be part of that community just by following or subscribing to the platforms, it's a good indicator that this is could build up to something. So it's cool to see. So thank you to the people who follow and subscribes. Right, with that said, let's see. So as I was mentioning, I had like for this shot, I noticed that there is this black smoke on the original. So if I disable it, we don't actually see the black smoke coming up here in the, we do see it a little bit. It's not as black as the sky, but we do see the smoke, right? So I want to try to see if I can key that out a little bit more gentle, as we're putting sort of the sky underneath, right? So I think that can be improved upon, but also because we have sort of this black blob of smoke, suddenly we lose a lot of those details up in the sky, right? So I think for this sky shot, I would like to sort of have the Milky Way being on the other side. I think I will try to flip it over and see if I can make the sky a little bit more interesting on the left hand side of the screen. Also just improve a little bit of the mask. I see that, you know, it's quite dark in here compared to the sky that I'm putting in, so I can improve the mask a little bit more. And yeah, take it from there. Hello on YouTube. Thanks for popping in, saying hello. Right, so I'll see if I can rotate this first. So for the star setup, I found this huge 16K map, which is massive. You know, it holds like the whole Milky Way, and it's really high quality. And I want to sort of, so what I'm doing is just like I'm, you know, extracting the colors out by color correcting, and then I'm putting it on a sphere where I'm putting in a camera in the middle, and then I'm just rendering it out, right? And then the camera information, we're looking at it with a focal length of 7, right? So if I change this to like 6, or like the camera would see more, but then it gets like way too fish-eye. So I think ideally we would probably like, I mean, the shot would probably be something around like 35 millimeters or something like that, but I don't think we need to be like super accurate for this shot in terms of like replicating the lens information and camera information. But we have to sort of be close enough for it to not have like a fisheye sky compared to 35 or 50 lens, because that would be like a huge difference, and it would look weird with if they don't match close, right? So let's see. Right, so what I would like to do is to then, I'm rotating this sphere around just so I can capture the Milky Way. And I think it'd be cool to see if we can rotate it in an interesting way, so we can see sort of as much as possible. Maybe like this. And then I have a little bit of a color treatment here where I'm matching to the original plate. And here we don't see much of it, so let's play around more with the rotation. So I'm just trying to see if I can get like a nice composition in. Can you provide the footage for practice? I cannot actually, because I mean, this is sort of it is for indie film, right? So I won't be able to provide footage for it. I think maybe for the course, it's a good question. I think maybe we'd be able to, I'll talk to the director about it as well. We might be able to take a few of the shots, because it is sort of guided towards or with this film specifically as well. And I think that's a good idea, to maybe to be able to provide some of the shots for free for the people to also to have these streams as reference to work on the effects to learn, right? So it's a really good question. I'll take that with the director and propose it and see if we can provide the footage at a future point. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So I'm kind of liking, okay, let's see how it looks here. Yeah, it's looking quite nice, but let's see if we can see a little bit more of it. No, I need to keep playing around a little bit. It's tricky because we have so little like sky space, right? So it doesn't have like much screen space, so it really needs to capture a very interesting angle here. And I think I can remember, is this the shot where, yeah, so it zooms out, I think by 500 frames we reach sort of the max point. Let's keep rotating this a little bit more. So I think I like it when it's here. Like I like this section of the sky. I just want it on the other side, so I could either maybe, it's gonna be hard to sort of get all the 3 rotations exactly the same, so I might just 3 different axes the same way. Okay, so here we see a lot more, which is quite nice. So I'm kind of liking this setup here, so I think I need to improve a lot on the mask for the house, and that should come in quite nicely, I think. So let's see here. Yeah, it's quite a rough keyer. I'll probably just redo this a little bit again. It's been a while since I've been keying this, and I'll probably keyed it for a little bit of different sky setup at the time. You know, something like that maybe. It's not too shabby. Let's see how it looks if we invert. No, that's all right. We can use it still. Try see if I can still sell it out here. And then I think I had some rough roto. I might need to readjust this roto a little bit as well. Probably just gonna redo the roto. And actually, yeah, we have a camera movement in 3D that I did. I did a 3D track for this shot. I don't know if I haven't even showed you the shot, but it basically tracks out a little bit. So like you can see, if we go back to frame 1, we like pushed in, right? And then there's like a small track out basically until we reach like 500 frames or so, and then it stops. But the shot is very long. It's 1500 frames. So what I'll do for this, that I have a tracked camera, I can just project it to the card here, and I can just project it on my reference frame. So if I then roto the house at 500, and I can do a pretty precise roto. I wouldn't do it like super precise, but I'll do something like this. Maybe I want to actually have it a little bit of the outside. All right. Let's do this. Now we got the shape of the house tracked, and we can use this to then merge in with this a little bit to put a screen. And we can, yeah, maybe soften it a little bit inwards, like -30. And then we have patched up all the holes and have a little bit of that detail on the house, on the edges. I'll probably do another soft cure around the edges to yeah, get all that detail in, basically. So now we have a much tighter mask. I don't know if you can sort of see the difference, but this is now, this is before. I don't know if you can sort of tell this black gradient mask, because it was quite like a garbage mask that I did before. So this is like yeah, way more precise. So we get rid of this blackness, and we much tighter into the house now. And so now it's about like fixing the edges. But let's take a look at the shot. If we I'm just gonna play the first 500 frames just to see if anything breaks, and how it looks with the new sky. Yeah, probably do proxy because I'm rendering like 4K here. Okay, it's gonna take a bit. Just be right back. I'm just gonna run quickly to the restroom and I'll be back. Just a moment. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, sorry, my nose was running, and I think I'm getting a little sick. So we'll see if hopefully I'm fine on Thursday to stream as well. So yeah, the new schedule is Tuesday and Thursdays, and then we do approximately like 2-hour stream, I think. Okay, this is looking pretty good. I'll see that I need to bring in the stars to blink just a tiny bit, I think. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let me also like note down here, I think that was a great idea actually with to be able to provide the footage. So I'm just gonna write it down here. Right. Okay, now's the track starts to from here. I think the tracking is looking pretty good, I think. I really need to figure out how to kick these weird butts out from the chat, I guess. I don't know how to... I have no idea how to do that on Twitch. Turn on shield mode. Yeah, I have to look into that. It's gonna take a little while. It's a long, long shot. Usually, actually, for the most time, like visual effect shots are very short, right? Like there's a lot of cuts in movies. Like it's actually quite rare to see like long takes in movies nowadays, right? I think there's a huge, science behind editing. And there's also a very creative way of editing, and I think actually that's true for almost all art forms, right? But there's like a very mathematical approach to something, and then there is like a very artistic approach to something. And I feel like and I think that's like a little bit of a spectrum, right? So I think like sometimes like I feel like I'm in a good in between sometimes. Like sometimes I get like very crazy creative ideas, and sometimes I find a lot of solutions in a mathematical mindset. So like I'm not like super good at math, but like I'm good at theoretical math, right? Because that's kind of like what you actually do in Nuke at a higher sort of level. It's also like you sort of understand. That's why like in Photoshop and After Effects and all other like softwares, that's why you have like minus operation, plus operation, multiply, divide, right? Like all these are like multiplication. And so when you sort of understand that it's actually math, you can use these mathematical approaches to divide a background from the foreground, right? So you can actually use something like a divide and stuff like that. So yes, it's interesting to learn sort of like that aspect, right? I think as a good compositor sort of understands a little bit about that aspect. I think also like really great and tech compositors, like lead compositors, a lot of the time would like be very, very technical skilled on a higher level, right? Like they would have to see like negative values in pixels and all these type of things, right? But then you also have like a very creative and intuitive approach to creative work, right? And compositing as well. So like you can just decide like, this looks fine to your eye, and take an intuitive approach to it where it could look, sometimes even better than the mathematical approach. So it's a little bit of a spectrum. It's also because like at the end of the day, film and any creative outlet is an expression of art. So a lot of the films have different looks, right? Like whatever you do with the lot and editing and all that type of thing as well. So it's interesting to have sort of the two approaches. And so yeah, why did I start this whole rant about mathematical and abstract creative approach? It was I wanted to get to a point. I totally got off track. Oh yeah, it was about editing and films, and we're talking about like long shots and short shots. And so there's like this mathematical approach to fast editing. It refreshes your eyes, right? So you tend to stay more engaged in the film or whatever you're seeing if you have way more cuts in between shots, right? So because it helps refresh your vision and your eye, and so that for you stay sort of locked into the movie, right? So it's a or YouTube video, you see that a lot of with YouTube videos that are super fast cut is because they want to keep your attention on the screen. Because if you're looking at a shot that takes that is 30 seconds long and there's not much happening, your mind will wander off to seek that dopamine, right? And if nothing much is happening, then you stray away from the movie. And so that's why I think a lot of movies have sort of also stepped away from that, but I think what also a lot of people don't sort of realize is that like long shots, they have like a super useful tool within them. It's just very rare that we see them nowadays, you know. Yeah, because it gives a moment to breathe, gives a moment to think and reflect and really sit down with a character, right? So it can help create like I think stronger emotions a lot of the time. But the problem is like I think the younger the audience, the faster content and refresh you need, right? So this is this tricky balance. I think a lot of people can't focus on slow films, if you will. Like watching Space Odyssey today feels like a torture for younger audience to go through, I think, compared to like, you know, if you're used to that kind of films, it's it's like Space Odyssey is a it's a masterpiece in every sense of the word. But a lot of people, younger audience, I notice they can't really watch the movie because it's too slow, right? All right, so I got some transparency going on in the roof. So I need to fix that. Yeah, there's also a little bit here on the edges. Yeah, so basically I just think I need to refine this a little bit. I think the tracking works. I'll probably do a little bit of a dark gradient here at the end, sort of like the, so I don't think usually I don't think you would see like the stars as strong on the horizon line. I think like usually they would sort of like fade away a little bit more as the Earth sort of bounces the light back, and also like from cities and stuff. So I think like I don't think we will like see like stars at this level here. So I'll do like a little bit of a ramp to remove those, I think. We need blinking stars and better masks, so I'll work on that. But I'm kind of happy with the position of the Milky Way, and also it looks like the keyer helped was a little bit better on the smoke. Before it was like I had like a very dark patch here, and now we get like this smoke color on the top. So I think the key is actually quite perfect in terms of the smoke. So yeah. Okay, so see, I'll stay at this frame here just to see what's going on with the roof. Oh my god, this explains so much why I cannot stand most of the fast-paced action movies now. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's it can get like very disorientating as well, right? Like I think a lot of the times when you watch like these Michael Bay movies, like Transformers, like they get like, it's cut so many times that it doesn't make sense. We see like a car coming in, then we see like a close-up of the wheel, we see a little bit of bounce, we see water, and so it's like just in a few amount of seconds you like watched like 50 shots, and it's like there's like no reason to have all that dump in, right? But and if it can feel like quite disorientating, that's why also like a lot of those films don't get memorable shots besides their like long action takes where you see like a robot for a long shot. Those are sort of like the memorable shots for those films, right? But yeah, like the rest is just feels like noise in your eyes, right? So it's very hard to sort of like remember all these shots, but you notice it a lot when you like break it down and you analyze it. It's like, wow, there's like 50 shots within few seconds, and it's just crazy. And a lot of YouTubers, I think, does the same, use the same trick to keep like a younger audience engaged, right? Like I don't know what they call it on social media. I think, yeah, it's like retention time, right? Or retention editing or something like that, I guess. So it's like, yeah, cutting a lot basically to keep you engaged. All right, so I need to, I think, oh, yeah, so the shape is not moving. Okay, it is, but I think I need to adjust it, I guess. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I need to change that. So something that happens to me a lot is that, whenever you do a roto, you need to put it into like the clipping is always to like format or something like that. But a lot of the times, like you need to put it to no clip for roto shapes to not do weird stuff. And it's just basically whenever you have like a roto shape going out of the format area. I should also probably should not be looking at the proxy size as well. Could also be sometimes a little bit of a throw off. So yeah, probably need to maybe easier to match it at frame 1. Okay, so it Couldn't really move much here. Yeah. So, okay, I'll delete this keyframe. We take it backwards. Let's see where it sort of starts to sort of fall off. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I think maybe actually my card. Oh, am I putting the image? Let's do a checkerboard. I think this card might be like a little bit too far away. No, that's should be fine. It's not gonna change anything as well. We're just projecting it. Yeah, would have to adjust this here. I'm just gonna blur this and feather it back out just because it's kind of like hard to see the edges. Whoops. I'm considering just remove the track completely and just manually, because it's such a simple movement, and I think right now I'm kind of like fighting the track at the same time. So let's start over here. So at 420, I'm just gonna do a keyframe here, just by moving it like a tiny amount. Okay. Welcome into the stream. See that there's a lot of people popping in and out on YouTube. It's having a work chill stream. He's putting in these effects or these the Milky Way into the background of the shot, and right now he's sort of like masking out, doing a little bit more a precise mask on the house here. So you can see like this is the original shot where the sky is like super black, and we're adding in a Milky Way here. Okay, let's go back a little bit more. You guys seen the new trailer for, I don't know when it came out, but I saw over the weekend the trailer for Death Stranding 2. Wow, that was something. I actually I bought the first game, like a Death Stranding, for PS5 or PS4, I guess. I think I have a PS4. And but I never played it. I never got around to play it actually. I'm also I like to play on the computer more than console, I guess. Oh, but wow, it was just such a cool cinematic trailer. It's a very long trailer, but it's it felt so cinematic. I wished it was a movie. I think that's kind of like the cool aspect of games as well, like nowadays, right? Like they're becoming like more and more cinematic, but also, I mean, yeah, there's like a bad, I guess it has there's like a good side to the games, but also a bad side to it, where it also feels like the games are just like copy pasting the same stuff, right? Like it's just like, I don't know how many Call of Duty games is out there now, but it feels like the same game being released over and over. But then you get like gems like Death Stranding, which is like super cool to see, like a whole nother world. So yeah, I'm not worrying too much about being too precise. I kind of like wanted this mask to be a little tight, but it's also, and then I'll I'll do like an isolation around the edges, right? And to make sure that we capture like the details as much as possible. So right now I'm like just trying to be like somewhat capture the edge that I need, or the insides of the house here. All right, so the movement seems to stored. I think around 150. It's a little bit of movement here, but nothing major. And then 150, let's see. Yeah, it starts moving. And now our shape follows for the 500. There we are. Right, so now I wanted to take, just gonna disable this blur for now. I'll mask it inwards. Okay, yeah, I think we can go by quite a lot. I have to keep in mind if this is gonna be any weird. We'll see. Nothing that is visible. Right. So now we sort of fix that area, right? But now because we probably are masking in so hard, maybe I don't have to. Oh, like maybe we can go -15. But we have like this black edge here. I don't know if you actually can see that on the stream. Yeah, it's visible. I'll try to see if I can hit the sweet spot. Otherwise, I'll probably do like another pass for the finer detail. Yeah, so basically I just want to make sure I don't introduce any like dark edges on this one. So I think I'll leave this to like maybe -50. And then what I'll do is to create like a soft mask on the edges, right? And in order to do that, you can create a road, and I can then manipulate that road, saying like, okay, detect, you know, or expand out that way. And then again, if we minus these two, we get the difference, right? So this has extended edges, this has original edges like that. And then if you minus, you get the difference. And then we can maybe blur this. So it takes up, you know, so it's, yeah, just so we don't have like this hard mask. And then I'll do another keyer where I focus on the finer detail of where I only focus on the roof, right, the hay. And so basically I want to be as precise as possible here, or like as gentle, I guess, like masking. So I'm using my mouse wheel to just change the values here very slowly, and yeah, I want to push up the whites as much as possible, but also be careful that they do not become like super hard, right? Like if I push it too hard, it becomes like super solid, and it is hay, right? So it's kind of like a little soft, right? I don't want it to be super hard, but I want to make sure that I capture sort of like most of the detail. Maybe we can go a little further. Something like that. And see if we can then yeah, we'll use this mask to then isolate that mask. It's all about masks. Right? You gotta be good at doing a bunch of masks. And yeah, then we can add that in as a screen as well. And now we get that finer detail on the edges a little bit more. And let's see how that looks. So we get a little bit of like shadow stuff here. So there's like a bunch of tricks that we can use to try to fix the edges. But I think in general, I'm just like checking everything. So the big problem that we have is actually right with when we have the light source, right? Because it's not the light, it's not a light source, but it's like where we have the Milky Way basically, right? Because it's like very light against the dark here. And what we can do is to do like an edge extent, but I would try, before we go there, I'll try to do like a light wrap, just to see how that looks first. Also, we could, there's a bunch of ways to do this. So we could do like an edge blur here, and then we can isolate that area with a roto. Right, we say like, you know, this is sort of where you get the edges, and then you can sort of like play around with the brightness. I don't know if that becomes visible. Oh, yeah, it's yeah, there's no alpha. So we need to make sure we manipulate the alpha here. Oh, let me put in some music. Right, so yeah, in order for this to work, I need to sort of like make sure that I affect an alpha. Right now we don't have any alpha, but I'm using the alpha to sort of stencil it out, right? And trying to see if I could sort of, let's try to just copy the alpha in here from that. But now we're doing a whole bunch of a whole different type of operation. So I think like the I'll wait with the H blur. It's just because the way that I sort of built up this patch here. The H blur it's not gonna work basically. So trying to think about ways of doing it. Yeah, right now I'm just thinking about improving the mask as much as possible, because that would fix most of the problems, I think. Because this mask is here, but you know, it's not super good either. Yeah, something like that. Maybe just adjusting stuff a tiny bit. Yeah, so it's basically just these dark edges here, I think, at this point. So I'll try to do another keyer. See if I can key mix in a very good mask for this area here. And that was, whoa. So let's see. It's not doing much to the edges, so I'm not sure I can get a better keyer. Maybe readjusting this mask a little bit. Let's see if that did anything. No, it didn't do much. Yeah, so I'll probably have to find some other solution for it, I guess. I'm plussing that in. Yeah. Right. So let's see if we can do something with the light wrap then. So what I'll do is take that. And then you take the alpha here and create a generate only, enable glow, put it up the intensity to like 100 and then diffuse. And we can plus this on top of the roof. And you can sort of see that, you know, it's lighting up that dark edge that we had before. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Can, you know, adjust. I'll adjust a little bit of the mix and everything. I'll probably keep this 100 for now, and also I'll do that on top of the plate. And then see if I can mix it down to a decent amount. 2 maybe. Yeah, I still have like this dark edge here. I don't know if you can see it, but I don't like it. I want to see if I can get rid of it. Maybe if I erode this in just like a tiny amount. I'm just gonna disable the light source here. And then blur. Really going something like that. And then only have it for that section here. And have this. Like minus 50 or something like that. And blur it. So I'm gonna have to make sure that it follows that area. So again, that's sort of like the beauty of compositing. It's kind of like there's so many solutions to the same problem. It really depends on on the individual, where you what you see sort of like the best way of approaching it, right? And a lot of the times I catch myself building a very complex script. Sometimes you key light because you're trying to sort of problem solve as you go along, right? So a lot of the times you I keep building, and a lot of the times you're doing these building blocks quite roughly as you go along, right? To try to see if you to reach the 80%. And then a lot of the times I catch myself afterwards and saying holy shit, I built like a whole tree that I maybe just didn't need if I just readjusted or fixed small patches here and there. Again, I think it's something that you get better at with experience, but instead of keep sort of building the script with a edge extend and, you know, the shuffling the alphas and all these type of things, I sort of kept it with just treating the mask, right? So I basically didn't have to like, yeah, do a whole bunch of like breakouts and a whole nother shenanigans and light interactions and all these type of things. So it also depends on the shot, of course, but yeah, it's interesting because every person would have, you know, probably done it differently depending on how you sort of see the solution, right? So I think that's sort of fun with creative work. It's that, you know, there's no wrong way. As long as you get to the result, there's no right or wrong way of doing it, you know. There is different methodologies that you can follow, right, to sort of help the overall group and the project and so on, and also just to have sort of a non-destructive workflow. So there's like methodologies for that, but a lot of the time, like, you know, it's all about time as well. Like if I was very tight on time on a job, a lot of the times I have a very destructive, I don't have a very destructive approach, but I can create like a very destructive approach to solve the problem. Depending is like, all right, we need this solution like right now, right here, right? And then it's like, I'm not thinking about, what's the best approach. I'm thinking about how do I do the most in the shortest amount possible, and sometimes that can be a destructive way of approaching something, right? Okay, I think, I don't know if I have the old versions here. I just like to see the previous version. So this is like one of the first versions we did, and then we did this one now. So this is before and after. I think it's very nice. I think I'm very happy with the masking on the roof now. I think we could see it, in this version. So that was this is the latest version, and this is the changes that we've done today. And so we flipped the sky. I've cleaned up the roto shape. I see that, you know, we have a little piece of plank or wood here that is disappearing a little bit. So I'll have to bring that back. But I feel like the mask is much nicer now. I don't have like that black edge that I had before from the previous one. I might also, we talked about doing a little ramp on the background. I think I'll do that, and blinking stars. So let's do that. So we have the house here, and I'll do a ramp, and I'll probably do it here so it gets tracked in with the camera movement. Let's do that up here. So basically what I want to say is like, I want to do a stencil. As I get like this gradient, let's see if it does anything here. It's probably a little too subtle. something like that. I think like so the light gets dimmed down from the background there. I think that's a little better. And yeah, oops. Yeah, I think that's pretty. It's a little more realistic, I think. Okay, so then we need blinking stars, and I think I've done something here. Yeah, so I think I isolated the. Okay, this one I'm using to take down the intensity of the stars, I think. Yeah, so I'm taking like these super highlights down a little bit. I'll take the same key here. And then I have the stars isolated here. Then I'll do another grade where I want the stars to be twice as strong. Let's see. And so now I have them twice as strong. So here I'm making them dimmer, and this one is making them brighter. But now I have a range between between 0.35 on the stars right here, and then a range of 2, and then this 2 value here I want to mask with a noise, with a moving noise. So make it like I don't know, 200. Let's make sure we animate it throughout the whole shot. It's all animated here and here. Go here. This value I think needs to be quite small because it does move quite a lot over time. Noise can be a little bit aggressive, so maybe 230. And then here I'll probably just move 1, maybe 2 here because it's like it's a very long shot. And then I use this operation here to mask the stars. And I'm just gonna take a look at the alpha here and make sure that I have a little bit more blacks and whites. Maybe blur that a little bit. Maybe put in a color correction node where I amp up the contrast on all the channels, something like that maybe. And then I have to be careful sometimes with the hard edges, can be quite bad on a noise pattern, so I'm trying to see if I can blur them out. And now as that moves, we should get, let's see if this mask is working on the alphas. It's gonna render like 100 frames just to see if it looks good. Really cool to see more people joining in the stream. Sorry I missed a lot of people joining in and out on YouTube as well. Yeah, feel free to ask about anything VFX related, movie related. You can also just talk about what we did in the weekend, whatever. Just hanging out here. Yeah, so I think I don't know if you see it, but now like we have this intensity change like only on the stars, right? And that's kind of like what we want. Yeah, we would have to render it out and actually see it. It's a very long shot, so it might also be a little subtle, right? So we might need to adjust it and stuff like that. Let's actually take a look. Let's render about 100 frames again and see if we can see the stars blinking. All right, so we don't really, we do see it, but you see how subtle it is? You have to almost like zoom out like 5,000% here. So maybe creating a bigger range between these two grade nodes, like taking the stars down like to 15% and then taking the light up to like 10. Let's see if we can then see the stars a little bit better. Okay, maybe I went too far. I might want this noise pattern to be a little bit more aggressive as well. So we had it at 0, so let's try like, I don't know, go up to 5. And yeah, let's see. Might also need to adjust the keyer a little bit so it captures like the whole star. Might be fine. So maybe 25% here. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I was also overexposed. I could also makes it harder to see. Let's take a look. Yeah. So they are blinking, but it's very subtle. I might need to, adjust that maybe. We'll see. But they are, at least they are blinking, and there is something. I can't remember which shot it was, but I was playing around with the glint. So I think the glint node is a funny. It's a funny node. So right now we have this alpha. So I think it's picking up on the alpha. Yeah, it's picking up. Maybe we can do. I think the glint is sort of like the the worst effect, but also the best effect at the same time. But it has its uses once in a while. Maybe do like 8 and then length. Yeah, we can do like effect only. So we separate it. And then we can like plus them back in. And then we can like create more masks to also isolate the glints if there's like too many, if it's too wild or whatever. It's also easier to only blur the glint, right? So we can blur them by like a pixel or two. Then it becomes, we get this glow, and we can also then mix down the intensity of that glow to like maybe 33%. I don't know, and then all of a sudden the glint looks great. So let's see. What's the glint node? I mean, the glint is sort of like the I guess it's just like literally a star effect, right? So it gives you sort of the star, but it's like, oh man, we watched a movie not too long ago, and it was so hilarious. The scene. Man, what is it called? But it's basically like the glint gives you the Colgate smile, right? So it creates that fake star. And it's rare that you get to use the node where it actually looks good in a shot. But I think in working with stars and stuff like that, it can actually be quite useful, even though it's it's more of a comical effect than an actual good effect. Oh man, there was this. Man, I can't remember the movie. It's supposed to be. Oh, I had to look it up. Hold on a second. It's like I have to find it. What's this actor name? Adam Driver. Yeah, so Megalopolis. Have you seen it? Oh my god, such a funny. The thing about that movie is that it's not supposed to be funny, and it's not supposed to be bad, I guess. It's also a huge director, you know, like let me see if I can find the scene here. Oh man, I don't think I can find the scene. I would have to look up the movie. But it's god damn it, I can't. I have to swap the capture as well, I think, to this. I don't know how to do it. This is not a good way to show it. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, it's this movie, Megalopolis, and it's Francis Ford Coppola. He's a huge director, and you know, it's a very artistic film. But there was this scene towards the end of the film where they shoot like a tiny arrow, and when that arrow is being revealed, there is this like this old guy pulls on the arrow, and then on the tip of the arrow we see like the glint effect, basically, which is just like like it shines, and it's just, I don't know, it's just stupid. But it was so funny. But it's a very bold movie for sure. Like oh shit, let me bring up the right screen again. It's a very bold film, and yeah, it's like, I think it's bold in the way it was crafted. Like, I don't know what happened with the visual effects behind that movie, but it feels like there was like no budget for the movie, and there was a lot of visual effects for it that needed to be done. So yeah, and the story is just not very good also. Usually I love like abstract movies and artistic films, but I guess he tried to make one that didn't really got to the finish line, I guess. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna overexpose a bit again, just so we can gamma up a bit. But I think we have some glint going on, a little bit of glow on those stars, right? So now they're like a little bit more visible. We have a gradient here. And yeah, we defocus it, and then we have a very nice sky, and we could probably do like a little color correct here, and we can like try to pull out a little bit more color from the Milky Way and the stars. But it also kind of have to match the color that there is in the plate. Now remember, for this movie we are doing the visual effects, and we are reverting like the color space back to like raw. So whenever they get it, they can apply whatever color they want at the end, and they should look good, whatever lot they put on top. But yeah, I think there's a huge difference now looking at the shot. I think looking at 500 or frame 500, and then yeah, looking at this, at that, right? I think it looks much better. I have to be a little careful here. This probably have a little bit too soft of a mask around the edges, so there might be some stars shining through, and I needed to fix this wood plank here. It's like lost its original color, but I need to fix these two stars. But in terms of like the sky and the star, I think it looks much better also to have it on the left side. And yeah, the star is a little bit more visible as well with the glint, the awesome glint node. So we could potentially, put it to like 50%. I think it looks good. Right. Yeah, so let's fix those things. So I have, yeah, so it's a little bit like black here, right? That's why we have a little bit of that. I'm wondering if we can take the same mask and not like necessarily feather it so aggressively. Maybe let's keep it at 0. And I'm thinking how I want to approach this. So I think I want to do a little bit of an erode on here, where it gets a little bit more solid, and then make sure that I extend it, but like -2. And let's see. Maybe even mask it with that. Now it's a little more tidier. Let's actually just take this in here. See how that looks with this erode. So that fixed all that stuff. That's great. We get a little bit of a hard edge here, so I might just isolate it for the roof. That doesn't look too great. And we get that lag edge. So I think I have to just feather in a tiny bit on this one. 15, at least I got rid of that. Makes it a little bit more solid. It's good. Yeah, I think that's already much better. Okay, yeah. So it's pretty good. It's a little bit of a like a darker edge, but that's okay. It's very subtle at this point. Maybe we can push it, the feather, to like 20. Yeah, so I think what I do is like to 20, and then I'll do let's see how this looks at 15. Yeah, okay, I need to bring back this area a little bit, I think. Or actually, this was original. Yeah, it's quite light up here at the top, so I think I'll just do like a rotor shape there. Oh god, I'm about to sneeze. I'm gonna mute myself. Sorry about that. Okay, so it also helped a lot with the stars up here. Maybe if we go far now. No, we'll keep this at 20, I think, and then I'll do another roto for the areas that are a little bit like exposed. I could also just adjust this rotor shape. Like here. Let's just delete this keyframe here. Make sure that I do it on The last one, just so we don't get like too many shapes, and I'll just push this up like a tiny bit around here, and I'll do that on all the keyframes. That one seems fine. Okay. Yeah, so I think within this rotor shape, I'm thinking I'll create a like this branch here. Or this, not branch, but what do you call it? Like a beam, I guess. So I'm extending it out because it's feathered automatically by 20, like minus 20, right? So it looks a little bit more like that. We have a little bit of a hard edge on it here. So I might bring that back up a little bit, like right at the edge. Something like that. And then I'll keyframe this. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, so I think it's a massive difference, right? Like from what we had at the beginning. So this is what, like version 1 to now, huge difference. And we have like previous versions to this, just the same sky. We just like rotated it and flipped it around, enhanced the stars a little bit. I feel like this fence, I feel like we should see sort of the sky color. So yeah, it's visible in the stream. So like this section of the sky is now brighter, and I feel like this is the original darkness. I don't think we can see anything sort of behind that fence. And also it is a quite dark shot. It really depends how they grade it, but I feel like I should put in the sky at least like on the top section of the fence, with, because like we see that, you know, with the ramp that we did, the darkness sort of comes from the bottom up. And I feel like that we don't have that gradient going on this side of the fence. So I feel like should poke holes into those blacks there. Oh, my battery died out. Just a second. My camera is still frozen. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. Man, I feel like time's flying by. Also, at the same time, it feels like it was a month ago since I streamed last time, and it was just on Friday. Okay, let's see. We got this shape, right? Let's do a separate roto for this, so we can always control it separately without messing up with too many other things. I'm just gonna disable this guy for now, and roto. Roto the fence here. I could probably key this, but yeah, it's quite a dark shot, and I don't think anybody would ever see this fence, but you know, it's always good to you know, push the shots a little further when it's possible, to make it 100% more believable, and also it would have a longer time to a better what do you call it, that like it will age better, the effects, right? A lot of the times when I think about like Forrest Gump or something like that, it's like still amazing effects today, and that movie's like getting quite old now, right? So, and people don't really realize like how many effects there is in Forrest Gump. It has quite a lot of effects, and I think it's just because they had so much time to work on the effects back then. Like nowadays, movies has like a 2-year turnover, right? So it's not like old school productions where they're like you know, old films could take 10 years to make, you know. Yeah, I'm trying to decide with myself if, yeah, I'm gonna feather these out so the blackness come back into these ones. Minus 30. Just so it feels like there's something, you know, some type of structure or something behind that fence that is just not just sort of a direct open view to the sky, right? Okay, now it's about to, let's move these rotor shapes. Oh boy, I really hope that I'm not getting too sick. I do feel a little better, but I still feel like my eyes a little heavy and my voice is a little sore. Okay, I think 150. That's where the movement started. I'll put 100 as well. Okay. I would have to see it rendered out just to see if it, you know, breaks and it tracks fairly well. You know, it's so dark that we don't really see too much of it, but I think I'll do a little bit of blur as well on the roto shape just to soften the shapes a bit. Yeah, that's good. So we get like, you know, that star that is almost not visible. You know, we get to see that in the film, and we get like to a sense of more depth for one star. All that work for one star. So yeah. Yeah, I think I would have to render it out and actually see the shutter movements, just to see the star in movement and everything like that. But I think we managed to get this one sort of a little more updated, I think, and improved compared to the last version here. The last version was also not bad, but there was a lot of like smaller things that I needed to follow up on. Yeah, that's quite good. And so the other shot I actually need to work on as well is I think it's the shot that comes, I don't know if it comes after or before in the film. It's basically the same shot, but it doesn't have a camera movement. I'm trying to look. This is 22. Yeah, but this has already been 2 hours, so man, that was a fast stream. Yeah, I think I'll call it off here. Then we can have a meeting to take a look at some of your stuff, Flow Nature. And yeah, I'll probably keep working off a little bit as well after that off stream. But it's probably a good time to call it off. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in and out and watching the streams and the support as well. Just by subscribing and following. I didn't sort of want to try to sort of grow a social media. I'm actually always sort of stayed away from social media for a long time, personally. But I think, yeah, what I sort of come to realize, I think, is that it's a good platform to, you know, reach out to people and also to build sort of like a community where we can help each other out. And I think I think that's super valuable. I always sort of like done a lot of the things on my own or with a few friends or something like that for like my projects. But I think it's also, you know, very new for me to sort of like stream out to people. So I have to get better at streaming for sure. But I think building sort of a small community for this type of thing is, I think, is super interesting and exciting to think about. So thanks for following up on the platforms, and we'll see what we can build in the future with this together. But yeah, I'll cut off the stream. Thanks for joining in. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you Thursday. All right, take care. Bye bye.